Remember the Milk. Why I made the move. In an ever-changing world, good things are replaced by better things. I've talked and written about that concept often. Sometimes a tool or service ceases to exist and we're forced to make another choice. Other times, something better steps forward. This article is about the latter. Since 2001, I've been an advocate of keeping both one's calendar and to-do list digitally. Since so much comes to us digitally, it makes sense to have a system that allows us to take what arrives digitally and let it remain digital. Over the years, the specific tools have changed. The system that keeps me on top of everything, however, has remained consistent. What I've been using, and what changed. For more than 5 years, To-Do-Do's been my digital task list of choice. It had all 7 of the features that I look for in a digital task list. Number 1, a due date field and the ability to sort by due date. Number 2, repeating tasks. 3, a notes section for each task to house supporting information. 4, a search feature. 5, it communicates with your email. 6, syncs across all devices. And 7, voice input. Want an explanation of these essentials and why they're important? In the text of the blog post, you'll find a link to an interview done on Productivity Book Group. At the 9:50 mark, Ray Sidney Smith and I discussed the 7 essentials I look for. A funny thing happened 3 weeks ago. New leadership at To-Do-Do announced a policy change. It removed valuable components from the free plan. It tripled the price of the paid plan. To-Do-Do's own forums lit up with outrage. Longtime users began looking for other places to go. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't mind paying for quality tools, but I teach organization, time management, and productivity skills. It's important to me to be able to offer people an on-ramp for free and have those 7 essential elements. If you give me a free car, I can live with it not having a sunroof. But if you give me a free car that has no reverse gear, I'm going to say no thanks. In my view, To-Do-Do took away the reverse gear and a couple of wheels. Will the new leadership establish a sound financial footing and make what has been my favorite product even better? Or will they price themselves out of the market and the entire business fail? Only the future will tell. And so the search was on. I spent 2 days playing with demo accounts. Any.do, Asana, Circus, Remember the Milk, and Todoist. I looked at how each platform measured up to the 7 essentials. Particularly, I looked at what the free plan included. Other considerations included how long they had been around. Well, Remember the Milk was the clear winner, and here's some of the features that influenced my decision. Number 1, Smart Add. When adding a task, Remember the Milk allows other elements in the task line. You can add due date, due time, priority, person assigned to, and even notes. This feature is particularly handy when forwarding emails into Remember the Milk. Change the subject line to the name of the task. Add a due date, time, or priority in the subject line. Smart Add is incredibly handy when adding tasks via voice. Speak the task. Include the due date, time, location, etc. Remember the Milk adds each of those elements to the task. Next, overdue tasks roll to the next day. How do you handle tasks not completed on the due date? That's been a question in the productivity space for ages. Remember the day timer and Franklin Planner days? We would arrow forward tasks and recopy them to future dates. Today, we no longer rewrite. In most digital services, overdue tasks sit in a special section at the top of the list. In Remember the Milk, yesterday's unfinished tasks migrate among today's tasks. Yesterday's priority 1 task join today's priority 1 tasks. Yesterday's unfinished priority 2 tasks join today's priority 2 tasks, and so forth. Toodaloo has a plan for doing something similar down the road, but Remember the Milk has it now. Drag and drop. My tasks appear by due date. But within that today list, I sort by priority. My Fab 5 are now at the top. After that are the tasks for morning, afternoon, and evening. But what if I want further refinement? While viewing my list, I can change the sort order to drag and drop. Now I can manually place each task at the desired spot. Then I simply change the sort order back. Next is swiping tasks on the mobile app. Swipe to the right to mark a task complete. Swipe to the left to postpone that task by any desired number of days. Next, multi-select task on the computer or mobile device to bulk edit. And Remember the Milk, putting a check beside a task doesn't mark it as done. Instead, it selects that task. Select as many tasks as desired. With the icons which appear above the task, Mass assign a due date, priority, etc. Date and time stamp on task notes. Task notes are among the essential 7 features I look for. Remember the Milk takes the feature to a whole new level by assigning a date time stamp on those notes. Suppose the task is Call Bill, and you wind up leaving a voicemail message. You might put that information in the note field of that task to document your attempt. The automatic date time stamp keeps you from having to add that manually. Next is assigning tasks to other people. Does someone else in your family or organization use Remember the Milk? Well, create a task and assign it to that person. You see what tasks have been accepted. You and the other person can communicate on the task in the notes area. Next, every task has its own URL. Sometimes one task needs to refer to another. Put the URL for one task in the notes section of the other task. And finally, a rich assortment of keyboard shortcuts. Power users of any program appreciate not reaching for the mouse. Save time by using as many or few of the shortcuts as desired. Remember the Milk has been around since 2004. When I chose Toodaloo over 5 years ago, I also considered Remember the Milk. But Remember the Milk then was not what it is now. An impressive upgrade came about in 2016. When I gave this service another look, I was impressed with what I saw. Want to make the move as well? If you're using another task manager and want to make a change, then go to the text of the blog post. You'll find a link to an article that shows you how. Remember the Milk supports importing tasks from Toodledoo and Wunderlist. That page also provides help for importing from other apps and services. I've composed a guide called Using Remember the Milk with the Get Organized system. It's a perk for email subscribers only. The good news is that you can join today. Come over to the website and sign up. Good things are replaced by better things. That's the way I'm feeling about Remember the Milk as my new task manager. What do you think? Come over to the blog and leave a comment. If you're a Remember the Milk user, I'd like to hear about your experiences. If you use something else, I'd like to hear about that too. This has been Frank Buck. Thanks for listening. Now go and make today count.